So this is going to be a quick video about why you only should look into Ethereum for your altcoins. And I know everyone is waiting for the altcoins a season of 2025, and it's like, it's almost here, it's almost here. Honestly, just take a look at Ethereum. I'll show you some stuff that's going to blow your mind. First of all, this is the Ethereum roadmap. They have an amazing website that where they're showcasing what they're working on. And there's going to be actually one update coming in December 3, which is pretty big. But what I wanted to really show you guys on this website are two main points, right? I think the most common two questions about Ethereum is like, why is this so expensive and why is it so slow? And really, this will answer that. So the first thing is on this roadmap, the first thing that most people will ask about is like, hey, when are cheaper transactions coming? So if you go to the roadmap and you check it out, they do talk about it. In the roadmap, they're talking about how they're going to achieve it. But what we're also interested in is the better user experience. And if we click on that, we can see beyond seed phrases. Okay, so those are the two main points. I also wrote like an article about this, but specifically those 2 points, like cheaper transactions and better user experience. So for cheaper transactions, if we go to the article that I wrote, basically this is how they're handling it, right? There's the layer 1, which is Ethereum, and it's slow, and it is expensive to transact on. And the way that they're solving it is with layer 2s, things like Arbitrum and Optimism. You might have heard of those things. And they're super fast, they're super scalable, and they're built on top of the layer 1. So for an average user, they pay 1 cent for transactions. It's great, everything is fast, that's what they want, but they still get the security of the layer 1. Okay, and then if you talk about user experience, like recently, for example, MetaMask launched a feature where you can log into your Ethereum account with your Gmail account, and you can do things like, oh, I forgot password. You can do things like reset password. If you get locked out, you can get back in. So things that were not possible with seed phrases. And I think another really cool feature there is, for example, they added an ability to approve transactions by email. So, for example, if you send $20,000 to a new account, you can get an email, be like, hey, did you really want to do this? Like, this kind of seems suspicious. So yeah, a lot of cool things. They're still working on it, and there's still like going to be more features, right? So I'm just saying, it's not like a token that launched, and there's like some hype about it, and people are trying to just like, if you take a look at Bitcoin, I mean, it doesn't really have a use case. Whereas in Ethereum, the use case is that it's a decentralized computer, right? And you can transact with it, and you can create apps on it, and it's only getting faster, and it's getting cheaper, and it's scaling, and there's more features, and the user experience is improving. And for example, we have a project. We launched it on layer 1 and layer 2. Like, for example, recently, we launched it on Arbitrum, but we launched an Arbitrum way before before even was like public. We were working with the Arbitrum team directly to help us create a custom bridge. So we were like one of the only projects that got it, because you had to be audited, and have to have a pretty good vision on how your project works. So all I'm saying is, we've been in the space for 5 years, and we've built on top of Ethereum. But I'm also going to show you some cool things about Ethereum that you might not have really known. So in this article that I wrote, there's 3 things that I talk about. So the locked assets, right? So like recently, Ethereum switched to proof of stake, right? So what you do is you take a little bit of Ethereum to generate some more Ethereum in gist of it. There's actually more things that are happening to it, but for an average person, that's what they care about, is like, oh, I can earn some interest on my or like some yield on my tokens, right? So in my opinion, that's going to increase to about 60% in the future. So 60% of Ethereum will be locked up to generate tokens. So you can imagine 60% of the supply will be off the market, right? Just from this one thing. And then, you have like, when you're transacting with Ethereum, you're spending a little bit of Ethereum. If you're transacting with your DeFi projects or the liquidity pools, all of that uses a little bit of Ethereum. But that's okay. And really, like, a third point that I added that many people don't really know is that most of the tokens and liquidity pools are actually backed by Ethereum. And like, if you take a look, like, this is the Uniswap total value locked. And if you take a look, like the first one, some Wise token, hey, $195 million in this one token. Okay, that's like, if you take a look, 30,000 Ethereum, right? So if you take 30,000 and then you multiply it by 5,000, right? $150 million. So if Ethereum goes to $5,000, that project will have $150 million in Ethereum, and that's just one project. You have things like USDC, and USDT and USDC and around Bitcoin, and you have things like some other tokens, like White, or I don't know what that does, but you have Pepe, and when we're talking about altcoin season, what did you get? Like, okay, I mean, if you go to Coin Market Cap, right, and then what do you get? There's thousands of tokens here. What do you like? Are you gonna research them? Or you're probably going to go one or two projects. You're gonna learn how they work. In my opinion, just stick to the biggest altcoin cap, right? There's the potential here. It's like people are aiming that they're like, oh, I'm gonna double and triple my money. Like, don't worry about how much money you're gonna earn. Just look at the project itself, okay? And to me, Ethereum is the safest bet because it's the number one altcoin, and most things are built on Ethereum. And like, our project is built on Ethereum, so of course, you know, we did our research, and we've been in the space for like years, and to me, it's just the safest bet. Okay, so check out the Ethereum roadmap, amazing, right? And there's all these utilities that people just don't really know about, right? And even if you take a look at our project, for example, $100,000. Okay, 95% of that is backed by Ethereum. If Ethereum goes up double, then our liquidity goes up double. I don't have to think about it. Like, I don't have to do anything, right? It basically, it's like, because we went in this direction, we will just mirror how Ethereum moves. And not only that, like, if Ethereum doubles, that's a lot of hype in the market, right? So we get a lot of that traffic into our project as well, right? When Ethereum is down, of course, the market sentiment is going to be low, but it doesn't matter. It goes up, it goes down. If you take a look, you know, since 2021, right? It's like it's going up and down, up and down. So, and it's same thing. Like, why did our project go down like 30%? Okay, well, it's because the Ethereum went down 30%. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Cool. I don't have to think about it. So all I'm saying is Ethereum is constantly being developed. I just don't think people really realize that. They sort of compare it to like Bitcoin, and yeah, there is some competition for Ethereum, but it doesn't matter because the way that the competition is scaling, like, for example, Solana, I would say is like the biggest competitor to Ethereum, but they're sacrificing decentralization in the for the speed, while Ethereum is not sacrificing that. They're scaling with layer twos, right? And in my opinion, like, there's still plans on how they're gonna scale layer one and make it even cheaper and faster. But for an average user, they don't really care. Like, they're not even gonna use layer one, right? Most likely, they'll just connect to MetaMask and trade some meme coins or something. But I'm just saying, I just I just can't imagine, like, look, how do you even trade meme coins in 2025? I'll just show you. Like, you search for Pepe, right? Which one is Pepe? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it like, where is it? Like, and then if I go to Coin Market Cap, which used to be the biggest website, that's where all the solid projects will go. What is happening here? Like, which one of the, like, how do you even tell a friend, be like, oh, I invested in Pepe? Or which one is he gonna choose? Like, it's like, oh no, you bought the wrong one, right? It's just, and this is only gonna get worse. There's gonna be millions of tokens, and like, why would you invest into that if they're backed by Ethereum, and then you can just buy Ethereum? Like, Sure, there is perhaps the volatility is not going to be as high. Maybe your that those tokens can go up and down more, but this is why, like, I would say we really created liquidity is to capture the volatility of Ethereum. With 95% of liquidity being there. Like, the tokenomics are very interesting. And we're basically at a point where we have like solid project, I would say. We have all the tokens that make up the ecosystem, and recently what we've been doing is we've been like doing games. So for example, in this game, which is a really an amazing example, because like I will just wait a bit. So the way that this token this game works is that there are these like progress bars that will eventually turn into gems, and then each gem is like 1 cent, right? And if no one clicks that, like, see right there, it just appeared, so it matured. And if no one clicks it, no, if no one collects this gem, it will keep growing in value. And we're talking like it can go like 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, but eventually someone will click a button, okay, and they will take this reward, right? Like you can literally take this yeah, I guess it's just 1 cent. This game is not meant for humans, okay? This game is meant for bots. And look, oh, now it's 2 cents. Eventually someone will click it. But this game is not really meant for humans, because I don't want people to sit here and click a button all day. It's great if they do, but it's really a game for bots, right? And that's just the vision that I had, that eventually, just like in all the popular games, you have bots that take over. Like in WoW, maybe there is like gold farming bots, right? And in like first person shooter games, there's like some cheaters. Like, what I'm saying is, people will abuse it. So why not just create a game for bots? So anyway, like, there's a lot of really cool stuff we did. We built it on top of Ethereum. We got like audited and everything. But all I'm saying is, why wouldn't you invest in a decentralized computer, like, first of its kind, right? That just seems to me like the most obvious way to invest, right? And you can see that this is the scaling of like the tokens, like the which tokens to invest. It's just not really scalable, in my opinion. Like, at some point, things will just be ordered by liquidity, right? Because ordering by market cap makes no sense. Like, um this is why Uniswap a long time ago, they did have they used to have market cap, but they removed it. So if we search for, I'll just show you what I mean. So if we go to tokens, and if we search, if we order it by market cap, okay. So this first token, $633 billion market cap. Amazing! Wow, though they must be doing fantastic. This must be an incredible project. Okay, they have $2,000 in liquidity. uh, Boy, I mean, $655 billion would put them above Ethereum, but they have $2,000 in liquidity, right? So that's why volatility will look like that. And most of this is probably scams, and it's not very interesting. Like, they 50 holders. So yeah, it's this is just, there are potentials, here, but I just think it makes sense to keep it safe and bet on the technology. So check out the Ethereum roadmap. It's really cool. We might learn something new. So thanks for checking out my video. I'll make some more in the future.